Hello everyone, welcome to your geography lesson for this week. This is grade 8, week 1. I hope you're all fine. Okay, for this lesson you only need the following: a geography book, a copybook, and a pencil. We start by the learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will know what rivers are and their importance and how rivers are formed. Also, the cycle of water. Okay, we start by the revisions. Previously, you learned in geography that it covers the three aspects of the world. We have the physical world, is what our planet is like, the works of rivers, ice-capped mountains, and climate. Human world is where and how people live and make their livings. The environmental world is the natural habitats like mountains, oceans, and how these are actually developing and changing. And this will take us to take the first part of our investigation is the physical world, namely the work of rivers and the water cycle. Okay, rivers are, or a river is a water flowing downhill in a channel. The point where a river starts is called the source, and the point where a river enters the sea or the ocean is called the mouth. So a river has a source and a mouth. Rivers are important because, they shape the landscape. Like the river in its flowing or its journey from source to mouth, it creates beautiful landscapes like waterfalls, valleys, meanders, and even lakes or swamps. It provides water supply for human uses and influence or choice of settlement. People usually tend to live near rivers to take advantage of the water and the resources that it's providing. Think of fishermen and farmers. Means of transportation, like in many parts of Africa, for instance, people are using rivers as a means of transportation to move from an area to another. As a source of recreation and entertainment, we can see water parks and water resorts are all built by river banks to take advantage of the river and its water. We have also, rivers are source of power. You heard of hydroelectrical power generated by building dams on the river. Look at this activity. What's the source of the river Nile? You need to think of the source of the river Nile. Okay, we have two sources actually of river Nile. White and blue Niles are actually making up the river Nile. You need to track where they began flowing and in which country. Okay. Do activity on book on your textbook pages 103, question 3C and 4. Okay. Now let's take a look at the hydraulic cycle or the water cycle. Look at this beautiful picture of shining sun with the ocean, the blue water of the lake, the mountains, which is a snow-capped mountain, these beautiful trees, and the biosphere is all healthy and beautiful. Okay, we start the cycle by the sun. The sun heats the ocean, and this actually makes the water evaporate. So evaporation happens here, and when the evaporated water enters the air, it cools down and creates clouds. This process is called condensation. It's a cloud making. Then these clouds actually, with the air pressure, produces precipitation, which can be rain, hail, or snow. And then we have transpiration, which is actually evaporation but happens on trees and plants. Okay, So you look at the water starting from the ocean, moving through all these process, and then ending up on the surface of the earth, going back to where it was, in the river, lakes, and then to the ocean. Okay, so once again we have evaporation, then condensation, precipitation, transpiration. Okay. We can say that water cycle is a journey that water takes between the hydrosphere, atmosphere, and the lithosphere. What's a hydrosphere? The hydrosphere is the water surfaces on Earth. Atmosphere is the layer of gases that covers our planet, and each planet has a different kind of atmosphere. Lithosphere is the harder outer part or layer of the Earth. What happens when water enters the ground or reaches the ground? So water either can be intercepted by plants or rocks, stored on the surface, or infiltrated into the soil, or even run down a slope. It can go to rivers or lakes, or evaporate immediately because of the heat of the sun. How does the water get from source to mouth? Now we know that the source is where the river begins and the mouth is the end of the cycle, which is the sea or the ocean. Look at this beautiful diagram of a source where you have the watersheds, the area where the small channels that we call tributaries are actually feeding the main channel of the river, and they meet at some points. These points are called confluences. So a drain basin is the area that feeds the river, and all forms of precipitation that falls in the area flow on the river through the surface runoff on the surface, through the through flow, that's through the soil, and the groundwater, which is the water that flows under the ground or beneath the surface of Earth. Okay, the activity. We have page 105, question 3, and 103, question 1, 2, and 4. Okay, to recap, what is a river? We have to define this. Why are rivers important? And what is meant by the water cycle? You have to answer this on your copybook. Don't forget to do your homework on your workbook, the Geograph workbook, pages 6 and 7. Do your homework and send clear pictures for me for marking. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you.